Hey everyone, Robert Nixon here with Barry Campbell of Sustain Carpentry in Campbell River. Do you want to say hi quickly, Barry?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Hope you're having a good Sunday.
Sunday. We're doing one on a Sunday, a little different. So we did the profile assessment with Barry this time, and Barry was also the same as me. It was a green planet. So what green planets, what you see of them, does not show emotion easily or often, business-like and serious in manner, may not appeal casual or friendly. He looks pretty casual, I don't know.
I feel casual.
You must be trying today.
Yeah.
Gestures from the head, hand movements. I use lots of hand movements, some green. Used to explain to show models, show frustrations if others do not understand. What you hear. Ask why questions. That's totally me. Ask many questions. May take time to respond. Respond negatively to incorrect information. Points out errors and mistakes quickly. May want to improve on ideas shared in conversation. So yeah, kind of interesting. I always, when we, like Doug Boulier that did it, his, Tanya, what was his description of a green?
He
it was
basically
like,
said that green planets were assholes.
They're assholes.
That nobody liked.
Well, it's not even that you are, it's that you come off that way like when you're explaining things.
Oh, yeah.
And like you also see like the way to tell a green planet is if they're like sitting there waiting for you to finish talking so they can talk.
Oh,
so
yeah.
A little bit of arrogance there.
Yeah, it sounds all appropriate.
But he's got the orange sky like me too, so he's a little out there, which is good. Good mix. Barry's also a client of mine. Great guy. Good carpenter, I think, from what I know. Of course he is. I haven't seen a lot of his work, but he's been doing it a long time. So yeah, how long have you been a journeyman for, first of all?
Well, I challenged my ticket last year, actually, after being sort of what they call unticketed field journeyman.
Oh, you challenged it?
I challenged my ticket, and it was hard. I
Yeah.
encourage all apprentices or older guys who were in the industry a long time to do it.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot. I went back to school and everything. So.
Yeah, cool. So when did you start your business? Is it fairly new?
Well, this business is about a year old, and I've been doing just small little side jobs outside of like camp work, like when I come back from Site C or the oil field or dam building, sort of just to do small things, and then as I've settled into my house, I just want to be there, and camp isn't as in the picture, so I'm trying to get bigger jobs and maybe move more into, like we were saying, like commercial or residential, building around town, new builds and that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Avoid the camp. Do it full time for sure, which is nice. It's nice to be home, right?
Yeah, totally.
What did you do before starting your business?
I did oil field in Alberta for 5 years, and then I moved to BC, and I built hydroelectric dams for another 3-4 years now. I've been doing that, but before that, I did residential construction. I started in Victoria, I worked in Langford, I worked in Bear Mountain. Nice. I did a lot of those developments that you see in Langford. I worked in Oak Bay, did a few high rises in Victoria. So I kind of had like a career doing the residential aspect of carpentry before I went civil. Yeah.
Right. So the civil stuff, like out at Site C and stuff, probably a little more, a little rougher work, probably more concrete and stuff like that. And the residential stuff a little funner, maybe more, like more intricate. I don't know. It seems like it'd be better almost.
I feel like residential, I get to actually be a carpenter, whereas the big jobs, you're part labor, part carpenter a lot of the time. You do whatever it takes for what they pay you.
Yeah, for sure. They pay you good, probably, right?
They pay you good. Yeah.
Are there any other businesses that you've owned currently or own?
I had a little boutique business called Bear's Beds for a while, where I built like custom bed frames.
Oh yeah, cool.
And that was pretty fun until I went to the Brick and saw the price that you can buy a bed frame at the Brick is. And even I didn't buy a bed frame for myself. Even I bought a bed frame from the Brick, and so I decided to shut that business down because I couldn't really make the bed cheap enough to be able to make really much money off it.
Yeah, the amount of time.
Yeah, so it's just taking too much time. So I decided to go back to like my roots, which is like concrete framing and hardy board. So
cool. Is there anything you wish you had known before you first starting out in carpentry or in business?
Yeah, like do your apprenticeship right away. Like when you first start out, don't listen to any of those company owners that try to keep you down by keeping you at a labor rate.
Or a first year apprentice,
first year forever. Like tell them no, I want time off. If they won't give you the time off, you gotta just quit, get your second year, and get going with somebody who supports you. Because I fell into that trap, and then next thing you know, I was a journeyman level carpenter, but without my papers. And I think it's just best to get your papers done right away.
That's what people want to see when you're looking for it. It's funny. They don't want you to go to school. Well, this is my experience. They don't want you to go to school because they don't want to pay more. But then when you're applying for jobs, they want journeyman.
I know.
So I always told anyone, like as a mechanic, if you're looking for a job and you're not a journeyman, apply anyways.
That's what I would do, and then I just gathered experience.
Yeah, I shot myself in the foot in the opposite direction because my first employer didn't want me to go to school. So that's why I left. Then my next employer was all for it, but I went to school. Then I went to school again, and all of a sudden I was a third-year apprentice. And I was the least experienced apprentice at the company with the most amount of schooling. Oh. So guess who was the first person to get laid off? I was, right? Because I was paid more than all of them, and I had least experience. But,
and it would be the same if they had like a well-established 50-year-old journeyman at a company, and then I show up, and I've only been there a little bit. Yeah. I would still be the first to go, probably. But, and journeyman is usually the most expensive guy there. Yeah, so for sure. They tend to be, if they have 10 journeymans and 10 apprentices at the end of the job, they'll have 5 journeymans and 8 apprentices or something.
Because they're cheaper, yeah. What makes you passionate about what you do?
Oh, well, lots of different things. I like the traditional trade of having like your tool belt and hammer, similar saws as there was like 100 years ago. I like my best times I have when I'm working are when my phone is like put aside. I'm ignoring every call for the day so that I can just focus on my work.
Getting it done,
And do that. I try to communicate more through like texts and stuff like that so I can just avoid having to stop doing the trade. I really like opening new boxes of tools. I like going to Home Depot and buying, like I was saying, like that Milwaukee saw that runs on a battery for 2 days. I like to see
crazy
workflow improve, right? I'm running an all-American pouch now, Occidental belt. Probably paid about $500 for my tool belt, but the productivity that comes from it and how I feel when I'm working is just really professional.
Excuse me. I almost miss that where you can dive into a job and get distracted.
Yeah,
it happens with real estate, but it's different, right?
It still has its elements of stress, I guess. I like the guys too, like people you work with in construction. Some of them are rough, but a lot of them are pretty funny characters.
Yeah, you get characters for sure.
It's kind of like a hockey team or something where you got that team element where everybody kind of bugs each other a bit. And,
no swearing, no nothing, especially in the oil field.
Yeah, nothing like that.
What is your favorite memory of your, or did I say biggest accomplishment? Sorry. What's your biggest accomplishment if you reached it yet?
Well, the one I was pushing for years was buying the property, which you helped me achieve that. So that was a big one. And then once I bought the property, it's allowed me to kind of, right now I don't have to apply for a mortgage or anything like that. So I can, well, I would like to sell and rebuy at some point, but at this moment, I can go out on my own. I'm not a renter looking for property right now. That was a big stress. I didn't want to start a business.
Yeah, needing the 2 years and stuff.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
The nice thing though is
first.
Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Some banks, so if you're still in the same industry and you start your own business, some banks, RBC for sure, I think, they'll still count your income. You don't need the full 2 years, yeah.
Oh, that's good to know.
So don't quote me on that, but some banks will use it. As long as you're in the same industry and you're still doing the same thing.
Oh, really?
Like if I was a mechanic and I went out, got my own truck and started a mechanic business, they'd probably still count your income because you're in the same industry, right?
Well, I guess I better take a couple weeks off and get my house ready to flip.
Get ready to sell. There we go.
We were just talking about it.
For sure.
It's like my house it needs to work, but can't find time to do it.
I'm sure. That's funny he says that because usually it's like the people whose houses you got talked to on the phone and they're like, oh, my house is a mess. Those are the ones you go into and they're perfect.
Oh.
And immaculate. And yours too. I mean, his was nice when he bought it. I'm sure there's some stuff you've done, but it's probably pretty close.
I'd like to do the floors.
Yeah, it needs flooring. It's a little older. Yeah. Cool. It was a good house, though. That was a good deal.
Yeah.
Like that one. What is your favorite memory of your career?
Oh, I don't know. I think
you can hit the skip button on any of them if you want.
I think building the dam in Seashelt was probably the best memory I had because I worked with the native band out there. It was their land. They had a stake in the dam. It was a small little run of river, and I just got to know all these band members. They were really good people. They had a program through our company to get those band members into training and apprenticeship programs. I really got to like meet a lot of people that I probably wouldn't have normally like met in my oil field career and that. We just had a lot of fun. We went for a lot of hikes. We were in this camp in the middle of the bush nowhere. I had the most fun there on the commercial side. On my own jobs, it's really been those moments where I like buy a new trailer and hook it onto my truck or get new tool and put it on. Those are the memories.
And know that you're going to get the use out of them and put it to work.
Finish a job and get paid. It's 9 at night on a Friday a couple weeks ago, and I worked myself right till the end just so that I could just have it done. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm going home and I'm like, this is like, I wouldn't say it's a great memory, but it still feels good. You're like, this is my thing. I did what I wanted to do.
The reward of completing it.
Sort of,
Yeah, awesome. How do you market your business? Do you do any social media marketing, Instagram?
Well, this is the first time I've really delved into the social media thing. Right?
Yeah, perfect.
Mostly through word of mouth. I just texted you, look, I'm looking for clients and trying to rebrand and build my business. And then, I'm here now talking to you word of mouth. Mostly I find when I first start out, and that was another thing I was going to say is I've been offering like a 10% reduction on labor. I normally charge $70 an hour for 2 guys. I've been charging like $63 an hour a lot of the time just
to build up the clientele.
To try to build the clientele.
Yeah.
I just did a job in Comox and I barely made anything off it, but I saw it as an advertising opportunity. I told them we can give you a really good deal. All I want is that you to just tell your friends and the people in your neighborhood that you're happy.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, and I offer discounted materials usually too. Like I don't really mark up materials. I'll let the client buy them through my supplier.
Right, your discount
with their credit card, and it seems to really help. If everybody's getting 10-15% off everything, I'm not trying to. I'm a homeowner too, so I'm like more relate. Like, okay, let's try to make this not too painless.
Yeah.
Painful.
not too painful.
Not too painful, right?
Yeah. So with that said, these interviews we post them to it's parkbench.com/Campbell River. And they'll send you an email, so we'll upload the interview, we'll put all your information, they'll send you an email, and you can actually go in, and there's like a spot in the back end where you can advertise. There's a kid through the door. So you can put like coupon codes, like you can put 10% off or something, and you can do stuff like that. So it's like free advertising, and you can put discount codes or something on there.
On the park bench.
Yeah, so they'll send you an email, and you can log in and do all that stuff.
Okay, so then they just give that code like when they pay.
Well, if someone goes on there, then they see it, right?
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
I don't know. I haven't really done it much yet, but I don't know if anyone else has either because it's new. But if you need help with it, let me know. Well, it's kind of nice because it's free advertising, right?
I use WaveApp for all my billing, and I really like WaveApp and for my estimates too. So when I send my estimates, it's a very clean estimate. And WaveApp, it seems to have a lot of things like that built in, like promo.
Block them out. And, does it? Nice.
Yeah, it seems to have that.
He's hungry.
Built right in, right? So yeah, he's hungry. He's fine. Yeah.
You want to say hi quick?
Hey, bud.
Say hi to the camera.
Hi. Are you hungry?
No.
Shh, don't ask him. He's always hungry.
No. So am I though.
Yeah, me too. I could eat. What are your should we just take a cut, take a break, and go on some food? That's not a bad idea. What are your long-term goals?
Long-term goals: build the business up. Like I've already have 2 trailers, right? Both trailer. I bought a business off a retired guy, so I have 2 trailers fully stocked.
Oh, nice.
Or enough tools to be able to set one up for this and that. And my goal is to get, I know quite a few good journeymans in town. I want to get a certain group of guys together.
Yeah.
Get 2 or 3 guys over here, 2 or 3 guys over there, and just have a business that's not huge.
Like a couple crews.
Yeah, not huge, not to the point that I need like an office building or something to run it. Just something that I can have the 2 trailers working, 4 or 5, 6 guys on 2 different builds, maybe 1 renovation, 1 new builds.
Yeah.
1 commercial, 1 residential, something like that. And just build a business that I can eventually sort of maybe work myself off the tools and be
management a little bit eventually.
Oriented. Sure. But that's like a 5-year, 10-year plan.
Yeah,
until
for
then,
sure. It takes time.
Tools are going to be there.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my goal, is to start turnkey operation, maybe eventually sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Sell it as a
Once you start to get old, you don't have to work so hard and wear
like,
yourself out.
You can like 50 or something, sell it, or at least maybe the guy that works for me wants to take it over and run it, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of why I'm doing this, is because I've just done like 8 years in camp life, and I know that in 10 more years I'll be 50, and then I'll have to just keep doing that. So if I build something like this, it's kind of like more of a growth, like, long-term thing.
Totally. And I mean, you've seen those guys out there that are 75 still working in camp, I'm sure. I know I have, and I'm like, holy.
My work partner last year was 67, and I just got a text from my old work partner who's like 33 saying that Lloyd's back. Guess who's back? Lloyd. Oh my God, Lloyd is literally turning 60.
Either because they're addicted to the work or they really need the money, one or the other, right?
Or they're addicted to gambling.
Something, who knows.
So,
do you know much about real estate? We already sort of talked about that a bit, but
I'm learning.
We're learning
through you and through owning. I'm learning that there's a lot of little things to do around the house.
There's always work on your own house.
But my biggest thing that I know, and I tell every young person this, is just get in the game. Get in the game. Don't talk yourself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Let that fear of missing out feeling take over. Get in the game.
Yeah,
if you think, next year or something, maybe it'll get cheaper. Don't try to analyze the market. Just get in the market.
I've had so many people for the last year saying they're waiting for the market to crash, and I'm like, it went up 12% last year. That's like an average of however many $70,000 or something. Like,
the market
it's crazy.
It'll soften. But
it does soften, and even if it does, it always dips and comes back up. So what I tell people is, if you're worried about it, as long as you're secure in your job, I wouldn't worry about it. If you're going to keep it for at least 5 years, right? Because it's always going to go up and down a little bit.
If you're like me and you're contracting and you're always wondering what the next 2 months, 3 months is going to bring.
Mm-hmm.
It always works out as long as you have that drive. I'm going to go out, I'm going to, sell a car, sell a house, sell a carpentry job, renovation, whatever it is.
And you got the bill anyways, right? Pretty much if you're paying rent.
Yeah, and then you got to get out there and do it. But that's like, I talk to a lot of guys actually in camp life and stuff that are out there in camp working for that house, and that's what's driving them to be out there. And they're, we're just going to get a house, but I'm waiting for this. And I corner them. No, don't wait. Do it now. Yeah. And then if they're like, but we want to do this first. Like, we want to travel the world first. I'm like, don't do that. Get into the game now. Yeah. And then travel the world, have that house, but be able to travel. And then you have that security of the home to come back to or to sell or whatever. And
it is a little harder now. I mean, it's harder to get into the market for first-time home buyers with the down payment and the financing and everything. But my first house was a 40-year no down payment mortgage. Yeah, it was brutal. I got laid off 6 months later, and I tried to sell it. They wanted a $25,000 penalty. It was brutal. I still have the house though, and I don't regret it. But yeah, it's interesting. But with that said, if you can find something with a suite or something, like your house has a suite, right? I mean, that's huge for a first-time home buyer.
It's almost done.
Pay part of the mortgage.
Yeah, find a suite or. I don't know. I have too much house, but that's kind of a problem. But also, I can rent out my suite if I wanted to, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Or when I get older, I can live downstairs and I can rent out the top.
Also, I tell young single guys, I'm like, why don't you buy? Like, if you're the problem is the younger generation, like the stats say they want high-end finishings, they want all this. So I think it's hard for them to wrap their head around, say, living in the suite, renting upstairs. But if you get $2,000 a month for your upstairs 3-bedroom house. Live in the 2-bedroom suite. I think that's smart if you're a young single male or something.
I would go to camp, work, and then have that house just paying for itself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a no-brainer. But I wish I could go do that. Do you have any advice for someone who might be interested in starting a business?
Well, my experience so far has been just get into it. I've been in and out of doing subcontract work for a long time. Like when I lived in Victoria, I did it for a few years too, and. It was the same then. It was kind of like, okay, time to start doing my own thing here. But yeah, just like the real estate thing, just jump in.
Just do it, yeah.
But once, for me, once I had the house and my Red Seal ticket and I had my couple of trailers and my truck paid off, then I felt like, okay, I can do this now. So, there is a lot of steps.
A comfort level there, yeah.
Yeah, like it took.
Don't buy a new truck.
No, don't buy a new truck. Don't buy a new truck. Buy an older truck. That was my biggest mistake.
Mine too.
I bought a big rocket and it took 8 years to pay off. Right.
Yeah.
So don't do that stuff. Yeah. For me,
especially if you're trying to buy a house or something at that time, because it'll screw everything up. Right?
Yeah, like for the younger guys, I always advise them to just keep on working for people like me or people. in the oil patch and get the ticket going, right? And then once you have your ticket and you have your property bought, you don't have to have pay stubs or this 2-year business thing to show. You can just be like done with it, like I am. Like I have my security in my house.
Yeah, you know, so you don't have to.
Once you're there, jump in. But it isn't for everybody. I mean, I've been stressed out about like all the time. Like in the startup phase, it goes up and down, and
yeah, for sure.
Job ends, and you're kind of like, what next? And then it all, but something always happens, right? So.
It does. Like my old coach used to say, it's like somehow the bills always get paid.
Yeah, like people always
just all works out, right? Especially if you're a hard worker, right?
Yeah. So.
That was about it for like real business related stuff. Unless you have anything else you want to tell anyone about your business, or do you have any specialties or anything cool, or no furniture building obviously anymore.
Well, I still do beds, like, if they want, but I try to avoid it. I do a lot of cedar decks and structural renovations and that too. So I thought like
so additions and stuff. You do that stuff,
yeah. Like so, I thought if you have any clients that ever buy a house and are going through like what I went through with my house, where you've got a garage that's been like my house. That garage was framed in.
Yeah, and you swapped it back, right?
I swapped it back right away, and then I went to Comox to do a quote, and the people at Comox had almost identical house to mine, except completely mirror image with the garage on the other side. And they wanted the garage closed in and put a door in. So I literally put the the French doors in, closed in the garage, and then hardy planked the whole front of the house and gave it a more modern look. So
nice. Yeah, you can really change the appeal of a house, just siding.
And so like if you're looking at a house, Robert, and you're sitting there thinking, oh, I don't like the finish, and like we found on one of the houses we looked at, a couple of them, the finish wasn't very good. It was one of the things in the inspection report. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It just means that we got to redo the finish. Yeah. And if I can come in and do it for not as much as the bigger companies in town, because I do charge quite a bit less than a lot of people because I just keep it nice and small.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think that's important too. Like for clients, like our jobs to give them the best advice and get the inspection. But when an inspector goes through and they find a bunch of problems, I always try to get a client to like, instead of just walking away right away unless it's a big deal, get a contractor like yourself to come in and give an actual quote.
Totally. Because
especially in a market like this where it's hot, if you're in multiple offers or there's not a lot of inventory, you know, that little bit of money to fix it might outweigh going and start looking again and buying something that's already inflated a bit since that happened, and actually knowing what it would cost, because the inspectors aren't always professionals in the actual issue. They just know how to find them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes that can scare people away, right?
Or you call one company in town, and there's some companies that charge, like a client of mine just had a rotten fascia board. It was just the fascia on the edge of their house, and they had a guy come up. He didn't even say much about like what he was going to do. He didn't really look. I don't even know who it was. He didn't climb up there or anything. He just threw a number out. It was like something like 12 grand. And they were like, oh my God, to change a fascia board. Yeah. So then they came to me. They were my neighbors. Came to my house, asked me if I'd change it. And I ended up modifying the fascia board, putting the new fascia boards on, painting everything, going to the other side, setting up scaffolding over there as well. And it came in at like $3,500 or something, and it was pretty reasonable
to redo it all.
It still seemed to me expensive for what it was, because it wasn't really a lot of wood. It was just a lot of scaffolding, getting up there, doing the change out, and it was like, wow, that was a lot of work for 2 boards. But they were happy, and they got it for like a quarter of the price that they thought they were going to. Yes. And so that's kind of like, not saying that I'm like a cheap guy or anything like that. I'm just realistic.
Yeah, you don't necessarily want the cheapest person either. You want someone that's going to be reasonable and get it done right.
It was still for what.
But there's always someone out there that's crazy.
There was probably somebody who would have done what I did for $1,500 off a ladder and not done a good job about it. But yeah, I'm not out to gouge anybody. So, go talk to the big time contractor in town and see what they charge, and then call a guy like me, and then you'll kind of get an idea for. Okay, this guy says 12 grand, this guy says 4 grand. I could probably get it done for 8 grand. Right? And then you kind of know, okay, I've got a low and a high here. And then hire a guy like me, you're going to get me. You're not going to get somebody else doing work in my name. You're going to get me there. I'm going to be doing the work.
I found that hard when owner of the company comes and then his guys show up to do the work. and the message hasn't been passed through clearly, so the work that's getting done isn't the same as what he had said he was going to do.
It happens a lot.
Right?
So as I
or what you
my
told him to
business,
do, or
I'm always going to be going from one job site to the other,
mm-hmm.
and even wearing tools, or just at least talking to the people.
Yeah, and just clear communication, right? It's
clear,
important.
And then the guys that I hire, they are all guys that I know, that I trust. I'm not just hiring random guys. I've been in the industry so long, I know a lot of good guys around town. So when I need a worker, once again, it's word of mouth. I call the guy, you want to work for me, and that I'm not dealing with somebody that could potentially misconstrue what I'm trying to get across.
Yeah.
But for now, it's me doing the work. So you call me, I come to your house, you get me. And I don't really want it to be any other way, because then I can control the quality.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. So a couple of questions just sort of about yourself. What first one is, what's your favorite word or cuss word, or both?
Well, whatever makes it fit better, I guess. Like, it just depends on who's around too, right?
If you're on camera or not?
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I use them all.
Yeah, I use them all. How would your parents describe what you do for a living?
Well, my dad's passed on.
Your mom, right?
Yeah, but my mom's here, and my mom loves carpentry. She's like an amateur carpenter herself, and
nice.
she's pretty good. She's done her backyard and done all sorts of different Asian pagoda looking things, and she's got a floating deck, and I've worked on her house a lot too, so she knows what I can do, it seems like she's really excited about carpentry too. So
yeah, so she phone you ask questions?
Oh, she wants me to come work there sometime. I don't have time.
I'm too busy, Mom.
So
for free, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I've done a lot of work there, and
totally.
Or we've done trade deals too, where I've done some things for her. She's paid me to take down fence or whatever. But she's pretty capable, and she just wants me to not have to go to camp anymore.
Oh yeah, nice. That's good. What do you have anything that you're looking forward to this year?
Yeah, we're going to Mexico.
Oh, nice. When?
November 16th.
Perfect. Day after my birthday.
Is it?
Yeah.
We'll celebrate for you.
There you go. I won't be there, unfortunately.
We're going to Mexico, and we're renting an Airbnb this year, and we're staying out of the pink zone. So, maybe.
What's the pink zone? What's the pink zone?
The tourist zone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're staying outside the tourist zone, so it's going to be.
What part are you going to?
Playa del Carmen.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah,
that's nice area.
We rented a little villa. You can get Airbnb is worth checking out.
Yeah, you can get some not bad deals. I wanted to buy a condo down in Mexico when I was there.
Every time I go, I look for property.
You can make good money.
Can you?
Well, it seems like you can. Who knows? I mean, so. Airbnb anywhere doing rentals, you can make good money, right? Investment in real estate. So
they must be.
We got it. We got Airbnb. We do all right with it.
Do you?
Yeah. And even we're in Campbell, we're not Mexico.
Yeah.
I'm sure way more people go to Mexico, right?
Totally. Like the prices are cheaper for the Airbnb. Like the place we found was like probably $40 a night for this place.
Really? Canadian?
Yeah.
Huh,
and it's nice. It has a pool and I think it's owned by an Italian couple.
Partly because you're a little bit outside of the tourism area.
Yeah, and I'm not.
Well, that's all right.
We were gonna rent a car, but now we're gonna do buses and we're gonna do bikes. Rent pedal bikes and just pedal around. And,
yeah, nice.
Yeah. So.
How long are you going for?
10 days.
10 days.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Get out of the rain for a couple of weeks. Right?
Yeah. If you could have dinner with anyone in the world, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh, yeah, well, probably my old man, right? That would be good.
Yeah. Figure you're going to say that. Yeah. That's good, for sure. Me and Tanya watched this movie about a desert island last night, so I don't know if that's why she threw this question in there, but... TV show. Is that where it came from, or do you have this before? If you had to be shipwrecked on a deserted island, but all your human needs, such as food and water, were taken care of, what 2 items would you want to have with you? So if you didn't have to worry about food or water or anything, is there any 2 items you'd take with you?
Probably guitar, for sure.
There you go, guitar.
Swiss Army knife, yeah.
Guitar and Swiss Army knife?
Yeah. Probably my 2 things I need, yeah.
Cool. Is there any... So I asked that early, but is there anything I should ask you, but I didn't?
I think we covered all the bases, yeah.
Finally, do you have anyone that you'd recommend I interview?
Let me think of it. What about the guy who owns the Beach Fire Brewing Company?
He's been recommended a few times now,
yeah,
actually.
We went there a while ago and
that's
thought
right.
the place was cool.
I think you're the 3rd person that's recommended.
Yeah.
Brian recommended it.
Yeah, someone else recommended him too.
I think the guy who started it just sold the whole business, I think, didn't he?
I don't have a clue. clue.
Yeah, I think the original owner just sold it.
Yeah.
But I think that would be a cool place.
Yeah, it'd be a good one, probably.
Especially if you did it right down there in the little beer vats. Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been there not too many times. I went and met a client there the other day.
I've only been there once.
And
I liked it.
Like in the distillery part, sort of the brewing part, sort of as the background. That would be a good idea.
Cool.
When it's not busy, for sure.
Yeah, in off hours or something. We went there and got a growler, like the little bottle with the handle.
Yeah.
And they have this I guess it's a beer. It's like kind of like Strongbow, but they add juice to the beer or something.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we had that.
It was pretty good.
Did we?
No, me and Sandra did.
Oh, you guys went there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, she's out partying.
Sarah, like,
No talking,
I would
Campbell.
rather just have normal beer myself, but
Yeah.
it was still like something interesting to try in town.
It's different.
It was different.
We'll add a little sugar in there. All right. Well, thank you, Barry. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much, Robert.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good one. Happy Sunday.
Yeah, have a good day.